Good morning, everyone. Today is a beautiful day and a beautiful day of working for me. I'm replenishing a lot of products because I have one, two, three, four, like four events coming up. And I am out of pretty much everything. So today I am just taking time to replenish. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the business spotlight that I was a part of last night for the Turning Point Tribune, Turning Point Tuesdays. And it was a very beautiful conversation. And that's what I really wanted it to be, was a conversation about simplistic ways to heal the body, to experience longevity. And so that's exactly what it was. And I really wanted to, there were a couple of ideas and thoughts that came up during the conversation that I felt like I wanted to go a little bit deeper into. Through the years of my personal healing journey, I've experienced a lot of different changes in my life. And so I can say that I began my healing journey about, it's been a long time. I've really been on this path for a long time, unknowingly, really. Unknowingly meaning that I didn't know where I was going to end up. And I still don't know where I'm going to end up. I have some ideas of things that I would like to things that I would like to experience and to accomplish. But ultimately, I did not have like a idea of, okay, this is what is going to happen in my life. And so last night, I got to share just some simplistic things that I've learned that I feel like people need to really embrace when it comes to healing, because I really feel like society, life, everything has really made the idea of being well into this task that seems to be very complicated and very sophisticated and very challenging. And in my experience, it really is none of these things. So I wanted to kind of give my perspective on that. And I'm not saying that healing is, some easy thing that is going to happen overnight. It's not. However, it is not. It is also not something that is very heavy and very complicated. So one of the things that came up was someone asked me, about my experience since I've been natural, or since I've been implementing like natural body care products, being more conscious about the way that I eat, since I've been fasting, throughout my journey. Have I noticed a change in my health, like as opposed to before I wasn't doing all of these things? And truthfully and honestly, that was a beautiful question, because it really made me think, even though I had thought about this earlier yesterday, and I often think about this, like, okay, when was the last time I actually had a cold? Because I like to measure my health in that way, and I like to keep myself on this like path of well-being. So sometimes I know when I have to do a little bit more, or when I have to fall back on some things. And so I thought about that question, like, okay, when was the last time I had a cold? And I couldn't really remember, but I know that it probably was like last year sometime, maybe early this year. And one thing that I can definitely say that I've noticed from since I was on the holistic healing path, as opposed to not being on the holistic healing path, is that I really used to deal with depression a lot. And my way to handle and deal with depression was drinking. And so, I've put down the alcohol. So I've been now a little bit over 8 years sober. And I think that, people don't really get or understand the idea of not drinking, because it's just it's so normalized in society and culture. And when a person does not partake in alcohol, it seems like, oh, what's wrong with them? Or, oh, why aren't they drinking? Because we've just been programmed to believe that alcohol, or any type of substance, any type of drug, is a way to help with making something bad better. And so for me, before I began my holistic journey, even during my holistic journey early, I was still partaking in these, in the things that I thought was the way to become better. And, so for me, depression was something that I dealt with a lot. Not because, it was just, I just didn't know how to handle a lot of the emotions that I was dealing with. And so in order to handle emotions, I would drink. And so I realized that I was starting to drink more and more, and it wasn't until I started questioning my own self. Like, okay, why can't I stop drinking? Like, what is this thing that has a hold of me? And so I started doing research on alcohol itself. What is it? What are the spiritual aspects of it? When you start learning about holistic healing and spirituality and things like that, you quickly want to know more about things that you are allowing to enter into your body, just energy and stuff like that. And I began to just really do this search about what alcohol is, and all of the things. Where does it come from? Why are we even using it anyway? And so for me, I learned that the alcohol is considered a spirit, and so it can overtake and overpower you at any moment. You may be drinking and thinking that you are enjoying the time, but really it's not even you actually enjoying the time, because sometimes the next day can come and you may not even remember or recall what happened. And so I started to realize that I had more power. I wanted my power back, and I went on this really interesting path of really seeking out and talking to God and asking, okay, why? Why am I this way? Why do I desire it? And I experienced something traumatic that really made me stop. And so after that traumatic experience, I did not have any drinks anymore. And so that was a little over 8 years ago. And, I can say that since stopping drinking, my life has been different, because I no longer am, invited to certain things, certain activities. I no longer, do a lot of the things that require you to do the drinking and stuff like that. A lot of people that I used to be around, no longer around them. So it does change your life dramatically. People will become upset with you because you don't want to drink. All of these things happen, which really can create more stress, more anxiety, because especially anxiety, because when I was drinking, it was because I was trying to escape things, escape reality. And so when you take away that kind of cushion, the alcohol, you have to really face things become one with the thing that is actually being, that is the problem. And that can create a lot of anxiety. So I dealt with the anxiety. I dealt with like, wow, this is a feeling, like this is something that is happening. This is an emotion that's happening. So all of this is really, talking about it kind of stirs up some feelings for me, because I can remember dealing with this. And there is nobody that's going to help you. I promise you there isn't. So people could tell you, oh, you need to go talk to somebody, a professional, and all of these things. But when you're on a holistic path, sometimes that is not the solution, because a lot of times there will be suggestions of medicating. And I never wanted to medicate. I didn't want to add more drugs into the equation. And so for me, I kind of went through all of the feelings and the emotions head on. And so anxiety was something that I dealt with, and I learned how to overcome the anxiety, the anxiousness, through breath work. And that was one of the beautiful parts of my own healing process and healing journey, that I learned, was how much control I have over myself and my body and my feelings, and how I can channel energy for specific things. And I remember I would always get these anxiety episodes, like when I would drive in high traffic areas. And so I had to work through that until the one time when I was driving through the high traffic area and I didn't experience the anxiety, and I was just like, wow, yes, I have overcome that. So these are the things that you have to work through if you are interested in, really healing yourself 100%, because the healing does not require you to drug. Healing means that you are removing yourself from any type of drugs, and that can be all of the drugs. So, over the counter, under the counter, out of the counter, all of those things that people rely on to help with escaping reality. And I totally get, wanting to escape reality, because reality can be very harsh. And that's why I think it's so important to really get to know yourself, like your own build up, meaning your anatomy. The more I began to learn about my anatomy, the more power I knew, and I realized that I had over a lot of the things that we deal with as a collective. So the very first time that I said, okay, I'm going to overcome this depression, I felt myself coming into a depressive state. I was dealing with a lot of things, and I said that I did not want to go to the path of medicating, so more drugs, and so I began to research, okay, how do I deal with depression naturally? And interestingly, the chakras began to appear in my search. And I started learning about the chakras. And the chakras are basically your energy centers connected to, you have energy centers throughout your body. And each of the energy centers connect with specific emotions. And, I realized that, wow, if I can work on a specific area of my body that is connected to this specific emotion, then I can overcome this feeling of depression. And so I really dug deep into that, and I began to do the practices, the breath work, eating differently, because that is really connected to the solar plexus, which is the gut area. And I know how to overcome depression. And I'm not saying that I've never experienced depression since that time, because depression comes because, again, living in this in this era, there are a lot of things that happen, and a lot of things that can create, emotional responses. But you have to learn how to overcome those those emotions, and you have to learn how to channel that energy into something else. So sometimes I allow myself to be in a depressive state, like, okay, I'm just gonna have this one day, where I'm just gonna feel like this is the worst thing that's happening to me right now, and I give myself grace for that. However, I don't stay in that space, and I'm so thankful that I began my holistic healing journey when I did, because if I didn't, I probably would be on the path of drugs. I would be on the path of trying to find things to take me out of this reality. But the thing is that, you have to realize that you can't stay out of reality for very long. So you might as well just deal with the reality naturally. And it's interesting that, as I think about, like, as I'm speaking, I'm thinking about all of the things that I kind of dealt with, and the emotions, and just all of the challenges that I've dealt with just to get to know myself. And the beautiful part of it all is that most people are the same. We have the same anatomy buildup. And so a lot of times the symptoms are the same. And so that's why you have diagnosis for specific symptoms, because people who experience the same symptoms, it probably is the same thing. And so I have learned how to really, be able to point out when I'm going through certain things. So when I'm going through a depressive state, I don't really get anxiety anymore. I'm so thankful for that, because I did not, that was one of the scariest feelings ever, was to deal with an anxiety attack. And I'm so thankful that I don't have that anymore. I've overcome that completely. Stress, don't really deal with stress, because I've learned how to overcome stress. I learned how to remove myself from stressful situations. I'm very easily, I can point it out. I can point out when a situation is going to be overwhelming, and I easily exit stage left, because I don't do well with stress. And the reason why I don't do well with stress is because I understand what comes with stress. Stress can bring disease. Stress can really bring on symptoms that I don't want to deal with. And so whenever I feel like a situation is stressful, I remove myself very easily, quickly, simply. And so that's why I'm saying that, you have to get to know yourself 100%. You have to get to know how your body reacts, what triggers you, all of these things. And you have to be okay with expressing that to someone else, or whatever is happening, because if you hold it in, it can create more stress and more of these emotions. And what you have to learn about the body is that your body is going to protect you. Your body is created to protect you. And so there are a lot of things that can happen out of you experiencing these stressful, traumatic things and not doing anything about it. Your body is now in this state of, okay, I have to do something about it. And that is how, a lot of times, how disease is created. So last night when I talked about, simplistic ways to heal, it really is simplistic. It's about really cutting out stress, really looking at things that you're using on your body. So removing toxic products. So everything is spiritual, everything is energy. And you have to realize that even when you speak things, that it is an energy exchange. And so if you are continuously speaking certain things over yourself, you're going to manifest that because you're very powerful. And when you are continuously using toxins on your body, putting toxins in your body, what do you think is going to happen? You are going to manifest exactly what you are putting in. So, going back to things being very simplistic, it is all really about just not so much trying to change your life. Like, oh my gosh, I gotta stop. I have to stop drinking. I gotta stop eating these certain things. I have to just stop. But it's more about really being appreciative, first of all. So living in gratitude, being gracious about the things that you have, being gracious about your experience. So like when I go to the grocery store, I have to say no to a lot of things in the grocery store. And this is my opportunity for me to honor myself. Now, I'm not saying I don't eat junk food or I don't eat things that are bad. However, I'd say no to a lot of things. And this is a part of the healing. It's a part of readjusting, reimagining, recreating, like just being more present with yourself, with your decisions, with your experiences, and not just allowing things to just happen. So, talking a little bit about like being dealing with health on a sickness level. One thing that I learned when I was overcoming the depression was how food can really create sickness in the body. Overconsumption of foods that are not healthy for you can create disease in the body. And so, it's this thing where we feel like, oh, we got to do all of the exercises, running and jumping and doing all of these things, but not really changing the part that is the most important, which is the food. Because you can do a whole hour of cardio, but then if you sit down and you eat a tube of ice cream, then you have not done anything at all. So it's really about looking at your food, because I can eat whatever I want to eat, and I do that now. I eat whatever I want to eat whenever I want to eat. However, the things that I eat are the things that help me. So I like to overindulge in fruit. I'll eat fruit all day long. And is it going to hurt me? No. Am I satisfying my craving of eating? Yes. And so it's about changing the things that you eat, not so much taking away eating. Like, you don't have to stop eating, just eat something different, eat some nuts, some walnuts, or some, I bought some Brazil nuts on my last grocery trip. I never had them before. All I did was I saw them, I looked it up on my phone. What are the benefits of the Brazil nut? And I said, okay, this is something that I could enjoy to have into my body. So it's about really making those type of simplistic changes. Your beverages, drinking more fruit. Blending your fruit. Get you one of those little single blenders. Put you some cantaloupe in here, some strawberries, some blueberries, and make yourself juices. These are the juices that are going to nourish your body, as opposed to drinking sodas all the time. Now, again, I'm not saying that I don't drink or I don't indulge in sodas. I don't drink them excessively. So, like if I go out to fast food or something, I may have a soda, but that's not something that I'm doing every day. One thing that I've learned is that when you deny yourself certain things and you want them, that can create stress. So I don't deny myself things. And when I say I don't deny myself things, I learn how to have this balance. And this is me personally, because I've taken so much time to get to know me. I've tried different things. I've, experienced how my body reacts to different things. And so I don't deny myself. So now if I want to, have some chocolate chip cookies, I will have the chocolate chip cookies. Not eating it every day, but yeah, I'll indulge in them once or twice out of the month. So I don't deny myself things. I give things a space in my life. So I allow those things to have a space in my life at a certain time when I feel that it's necessary. I'm not just allowing the chocolate chip cookies to just overtake me, and now I'm eating chocolate chip cookies every day, which is creating too much fat in my body, which can cause all types of sicknesses in the body. So you have to be you are more powerful, and you have to learn how to not allow the outside things to overpower you, but you control. You say, okay, yes, I'll have this today. I can have that today, and enjoy it. Because if you indulge in things and then you feel bad about it, then that creates stress. Stress creates fat. Fat causes disease. And so whenever you choose to have something, choose it because you are willing and ready to enjoy that thing. And you are saying, you know what, I'm going to have this and I'm going to enjoy it. And that's going to be that. And maybe I'll have it again in a couple months. So those are the things that I had to learn about how to maintain my own health. And, this is why when I look at it overall and I say that it is simplistic, it is very simplistic to me. I do, every month I do fasting. So 3 days with no food. Why? Because this is a very good way to help with cleansing the body. One of the things that we talked about too was detoxing, the difference between detoxing and cleansing. And so when anyone tells me or asks me about detoxing, like what are some herbs, I want to do a detox. Now, because I study the anatomy and I enjoy the anatomy so much, I understand that we are some complex individuals, and the human body is very big. And so when you say that you want to detox, this is a very general statement, because you cannot detox the whole body at one time. I don't care what type of tea somebody tells you, oh, drink this tea, this is a detox tea. Okay, what is it detoxing? Okay, because first of all, if you're using herbs, every herb has a specific purpose. Every herb works with certain parts and areas of the body, physically and spiritually. You have to understand that as well, that herbs are not only physical healing components, but they are also spiritual healing components. And so it's important to know exactly what you're doing, why you're doing it, and in order to select the best herb. So when you say that I want to detox, what are you detoxing? Okay, because you may need to detox the brain. You may need to detox your lungs. You may need to detox your liver. You may need to detox your kidneys. You may need to detox your heart space. So you when you say that you want to detox, you have to be more specific, because if you think that you're going to detox your whole entire body with just one herb or a blend of herbs, it is not the truth. It's not going to happen, because the human being is a very complex makeup. And so you have to deal with it that way. You have to deal with it in different compartments. So if you want to detox, the better way to do it is say, okay, I want to overcome whatever. Let's just say depression, right? Since we're talking about depression, I want to overcome this depressive state. How do I overcome depression? Okay. So if you want to overcome depression, you have to start looking at your solar plexus. Your solar plexus is the energy center in your body where your gut is. It is where your digestive system is. Spiritually, it is where you hold the energy of who you are, your character, your purpose. And that is the area where the emotion of what we call depression can be. And so if you want to overcome or detox from the symptom of depression, you're going to look at that space in your body, that gut area. You're going to stop using foods that hold negative, dead energy. So yeah, that means that you probably should stop eating meat. If you are dealing with depression, meat is not your friend. Dead animals will never give you help you overcome or heal from depression. That's just a reality. And if you have a brain, you can figure that out yourself. An animal is slaughtered, already living in stressful conditions, slaughtered, packaged, put into a grocery store. That in itself is trauma. And so when you ingest that, you are ingesting trauma. So if you are already in a depressive state, you consuming that trauma is going to not be beneficial for you. And so that was the one thing that I learned when I was on that path of overcoming depression. I had to become a vegetarian. I actually started doing raw food to overcome depression. And so that's why now I say that I eat whatever I want, because I know how to use the different techniques to overcome certain issues that I may be facing. So if I am feeling sad or feeling like I'm getting into this depressive state, I will stop eating meat immediately. There's no question. And you will see yourself come back to life when you start implementing more raw foods, if you are dealing with that stress and anxiety and stuff like that. So there are different ways to detox yourself. If you have a disease, if you've been diagnosed with a disease, so let's say like any type of autoimmune issues or any type of cancer, those type of things, you should not be drinking alcohol. Alcohol is a toxin. If you are sick, why would you put toxins into your body? So it doesn't make any sense. However, there's nobody to tell you that that's not the right thing to do. They're just going to keep giving you more and more drugs to kind of babysit the situation. If you really want to heal, then you're gonna have to do something different. You're gonna have to really do a detox for real and remove the toxins that are causing the problem. So for me, I chose to just give up alcohol, because now at this stage of my life, if I even have a drink, my mind is going to be in a space of, okay, if I drink this, now I'm going to have to do all of these different things to get the toxins outside of my body. So it just doesn't make any sense for me to even put the toxins in my body in the first place. And so what is so amazing, if you get to know your anatomy and you get to know yourself, you will learn that you have all of these beautiful hormones in your body that can naturally give you the feeling of euphoria. You don't even need the drugs. But you know that I totally get it. It's a social thing, and I've been there, and I get it. But when you are on a healing path and you are serious about your health or overcoming any type of sickness or disease, then you want to stop putting toxins in your body. And that's just the simplistic part of it all. That's why I say it is very simplistic. It's not difficult. All you have to do is just do the simplistic things, right? Make the decisions. And so, this conversation is very interesting because there's so much that comes along with it. But I want people to really get the basic part of it all. And the basic part of it all is that you have to begin somewhere. Like, you have to just begin someplace. And it could just be changing your deodorant, changing your hair care products. That's where I began 15 years ago. I stopped putting, the toxic, carcinogenic hair care products in my hair. I stopped using the carcinogenic lotions. That was the beginning for me. And then from there, I was like, wow, I want to experience more health. And I started to make more changes with the things that I was using. And it has not been it hasn't been like this immediate, immaculate thing that has just happened. No, it's been an evolution. I've evolved into the person that I am. And there's so much more that I can do. It's not over. So my words of encouragement to everyone is to really look at where you are and just look at what is something that is that you are experiencing that you don't want to experience anymore. So is it a disease? Is it a diagnosis? Is it a symptom? Is it an emotion? Is it a state of being? So take whatever it is that you are experiencing that you don't want to experience anymore and start from there. And then what you do is you're going to have to figure out why. So like I said, I took time and I was like, why do I keep doing this? You're going to have to ask yourself the questions. And this is the most important part of the healing, because now you've kind of figure out, okay, when did this start? Why did it start? Where did I get this idea from? And then when you figure that out, then it's easier to make the changes to improve yourself. So that is what I would recommend anyone, where you should begin. Okay, there's so many different healing modalities that you can use. I highly recommend learning about the breath. I do offer meditation sessions. Meditation has been a game changer for me. Yoga has been a game changer for me. Because those are the things that allow you to really tune into your own self, to get to know yourself, to get to feel yourself, because you are all you have. This is it. And so if you don't take care of it, yourself, then, what else is there? So taking time to get to know, to learn, to explore. And I want to really continue to talk more about depression, because I think that people feel like depression is some like spooky thing that should be avoided, or that no one should, that you shouldn't feel or you shouldn't talk about. But it is not. Depression is very much a reality. If you're living in this world, it's a reality, and it is an emotion, and it is a feeling, and it is something that is happening to people every single day. And there are ways that you can overcome it holistically without having to use drugs. But you have to be in that space of wanting to overcome. If you don't want to overcome, then you can go to those other sources that will just kind of help you with soothing it for the time being until the next, until you can take the next serving. Or you can overcome it fully. And then if it happens to arise again, you know how to overcome it again. Okay. And so to me, that in itself, once you can embrace that it's okay, then you can easily heal yourself from a lot of different things, because that and the depression in itself can weigh heavily on a person, and it can create trauma for not just for that particular person, but for family, for communities. So to me, really taking a hold of the feeling, the emotion, learning how to push through it, learning how to walk through it, learning how to overcome it. To me, that's really important, because like I said, I've dealt with it before being on a holistic journey. I've dealt with it on the holistic journey. I deal with it whenever it decides to arise, the emotion, the feeling. So this is something that's normal. In my eyes, it's normal. Someone else may tell you, hey, that's not normal. You're not supposed to be depressed. Okay. But as I've lived in this life, I realized that yes, this is a reality, and this is a reality that needs to be faced, not trying to use things so that you can escape the reality. But I just wanted to share the fact that simplicity is amazing. And if you are looking towards healing yourself, which means to become better, look at it in a simplistic way. Don't allow it to be overwhelming for you, because overwhelming things create stress. Stress creates anxiety. Anxiety creates fat, which we don't want. And so, all of those things just kind of start stacking up. So the best thing to do is look at it in a simplistic form. Look at where you are. Take one thing that you want to become better about, that you want to become better at, or you want to overcome, and work on that particular thing. So thank you so much for hearing me. And I look forward to talking a little bit more about these different topics, the holistic way to healing. I love you, and enjoy the rest of your day.